Hello, snappers. You're welcome to another video. My name is Nasiba. Today, I am reacting to Kojo-Cue's album announcement. If you don't know Kojo-Cue, he's one of the best. When I say Kojo-Cue is a rapper, but I tend to think of him as like one of the best storytellers we have in Ghana. I think he has one of the best albums out of maybe West Africa ever. I feel like these hot takes will get me in trouble, yeah. But I think for my brothers is the best album I've ever heard. Right? And I'm not talking about one of my favorite albums, but objectively the best album I've ever heard is For My Brothers, from top to toe, from head to toe, from top to down. I love For My Brothers so much. I think its anniversary is coming this November. I'm going to try to make a video for My Brothers. I made one for Black Sheriff, the villain I never was. I need you guys to go and watch it because the views is giving me a bit of a headache. I know you guys can do better than that. So yeah, I think Kojo-Cue is releasing another album, and I think it's titled Kani, and Kenny. Wow. Kenny, I hope it is. I haven't heard it yet. Kenny, a Bantama story. I think that's the title of the album. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's going to come with like a visual album or something. That would be interesting. I'm excited. I'm excited about this. This is like, I remember after For My Brothers, he released this EP that I didn't enjoy. I don't even remember the title, but it was trying to be like Afro poppy. I guess it was trying to be commercial, and I hope he got the comments he was looking out of it, but that's not what we know him for. So I am just hoping that this time around, we'll get something. We'll get a good follow-up, something that can be a good follow-up to For My Brothers. All right, so let's watch.
They say home is where the heart is. But what if you've spent most of your life running from the same places that raised you?
I'm a Kumasi girl, so I'm gonna see it. I'm going to try and see if I can recognize this place. I remember there was a time, I think our father changed our school when I was in Kumasi. When I was going to JHS, we went to a different school, and it was around Bantama. It was behind Bantama. And the first day that me and my brother closed from school, we got lost. We walked around Bantama for like 1 hour because we didn't live around there. We live around Menchia, and I had never ever been to Bantama before. And we got lost. We ended up in someone else's house somehow. And we're just there like, Pacho, yeah, come Menchia. The person said they don't know Menchia. You don't know Menchia. Hey. I was so shocked. Anyways, yeah. So this little boy, and Loki is reminding me of the boy on the album cover of For My Brothers. If you have seen, well, I'm going to put the album cover. There is the little boy who has like a halo above his head, and there is a young adult guy who has one, and then there is an old man next to him, and the little boy his halo is shining the brightest, I guess, and that's to like sort of symbolize the fact that one, he has his whole life ahead of him. His battery is full. And there's just, I guess he has more potential, But then the man in the middle, his own was sort of like not too low, but then it was sort of in the middle, like maybe the shine had gone down a bit. And I guess it was to symbolize that, you gotta hurry up. Your halo is going low. And the old man's own was completely dimming. It was going out. I won't go and pay. I go and pay actually. Okay, guitar. Wait, what is that? I feel like there are a lot of Easter eggs here. Oh, this is Bantama.
And why shouldn't we? When we know every twist, every turn by name. When we know the shade of every mango tree and the taste of its fruit. Rewan, my papa neighbor.
Oh yeah, I used to jump wall when you get into trouble.
We learned one word can mean different things.
Anka.
Hey, Junior!
Orange.
Pampana meant hide. Stay meant freeze.
Yeah.
Ampe.
Oh, I love the. Oh wow, I actually love the rhythm of the ampe in the music. You know, growing up, if you're a boy and you used to come and play ampe with the girls, they'll call you Obaberma. You know, it's I guess homophobic, but that's yeah. I remember when we were children, we your Berma, don't come and play ampe with the girls. Otherwise, they'll say you are well, as a Zongo girl, we used to call it namata, which means like for girls in a way. That's what it means in a way. But yeah, you call you about Burma. The boy who used to hang out with girls. Yeah. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying that's what we used to call it.
Ball was life. Everybody wanted to be a Betty Pele.
I wanted to be Asamoah or be with him.
We grew up on this side, cried, laughed, lost our virginity on this side. This side knew me before I learned enough to tell it. Knew my name before I was ever taught to misspell it. Yedi munye, mami, auntie, sister, giving, barely getting anything in return. I guess that's why my uncle never came back. I guess that's why our fathers never gave back. And those that stayed gave the bottle and lotto their pay. Yaboku, forget our fees getting paid.
Who are we, except the sum of our experiences past?
The damaged, the joyful, and all the contrasting parts. The parts we are now, and the parts we are striving to be. Some places raise you, others break you. All of them shape you. And kind of saying what's yes, yeah. I might have to tell you the story of my
Kani, a Bantama story. November 5th, 2025. I wish you would have pronounced the name of the I don't know if I'm pronouncing your voice. Is it Kenny? I sound like Sikeni. You know, aside from Sikeni, shout out. Wow. I feel like it's very dense. You know, it's pretty packed, very layered. And I'm afraid if I were to sit here and, you know, really break it all down, it would take maybe an hour. So I think I will. Let's see. For me, it's the spoken word in there that I am right. First of all, I think that Kojo-Cue shines best when he is talking about lineage, I guess patrilineage. When he's talking about trauma, low key, and you know, I'm not saying it's a good thing, but he does really well with it. When he's being really introspective and looking in the mirror, I think he shines the best there. You know, he's not your average, you know, I don't want to say average rapper, but I guess pop rapper, someone who can give you, you know, wordplay over like a very poppy or very hard hitting hip hop beat so that you can, you know, vibe to it. He makes the kind of music that makes you want to sit back and like really, really deep what he's saying. And so I just want to maybe try and discuss the spoken word in here, try and break it down.
Pen Club.
I'm obsessed with the ampe rhythm.
Ball was life.
I know, I respect the fact that they were able to get a very tattered tired, exhausted, old football. Because it would be very rare growing up for you to find like a new football. You know, if you didn't, unless maybe, I don't know, like, you know, in the local, like the inner cities, the more local neighborhoods, not the estate ones, not the suburban ones, but these kinds of neighborhoods, open ball a boy, and yet like some new bouncy, really, really good ball, it's gonna be a tired ball that does not bounce. The moment it hits the ground, it is staying there. Those kinds of footballs. And they had ways of tying it together to make it more tight so that it can properly bounce. And so I'm glad that they found a properly tired football. It's little details like this that make the story feel a lot more whole and a lot more true.
Everybody wanted to be a Betty Pele.
I guess that's for his generation, the Abedi Pele one. I like this shot.
We grew up on the side.
We grew up on the
Cried,
side.
laughed,
Cried, laughed, lost our virginity on the side. Okay.
lost our virginity on this side. This side knew me before I learned enough to tell it.
So I love the mom and sister giving, barely getting anything in return. And later on, he talks about the fathers or the father figures that were in his life when he was growing up who did not give. You know, I mean, you had like the mothers and the mother figures giving. And then there were the fathers who would waste their monies and their potential on, you know, drinking and, you know, not being serious with their lives and lotto. Growing up, and people will tell you there's a reason why people are so close to their moms, and it's not because their moms gave birth to them, like, oh, carried you for 9 months and pushed you. It's because your mothers tend to show a lot more selflessness, a lot more compassion, and they tend to give you a lot more grace than your fathers do. That's why most of you will remember Mother's Day, and it takes media advertising campaigns for you guys to remember Father's Day. It's because growing up, you didn't get to experience a lot of compassion, and you didn't get to have your own humanity recognized by the men in your life, but rather it was the women in your life that would recognize your humanity. Oh, he's made a mistake. Your father is like boom, 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 and then your mom is like, let's calm down. I'm not saying it happens for everybody. I'm just saying that more often than not, it tends to be the moms show a lot more compassion to their children, show a lot more selflessness. Say, onye sika or the baby fie na ye nyina ye didi. But then a lot of people's fathers, better say, like, it's actually crazy. I know these stories. I have been lucky to have like a father who took care of me. But you know, even that one cry, there's new ones there. But I know stories of people who had fathers who he has money. He will come home and hide that money in that house, and you guys won't know that there's money there. And your mom will wake up every single day struggling to make ends meet. Kakrana obenyano or the baby fie. No didi. No, you know, or the walk of school. No, with your way, wakoje bosia. No, with your way. All of that, no. But you still have a father who has money hidden in the house. Or even if he doesn't have money, when he gets some money, kakrebi, now I'll talk fried rice, now I bet na honor with D. And I say he'll go and waste it on women, alcohol, gambling. And so it tends to be things like this. And there's this thing that people say that no matter how young children are, they will always recognize who in that house, who in that household showed up for them, who in that household was on their side. And so it'll always be true that as long as we think that children don't see what we're doing for them, but they do. And when they grow up, they're keeping score. And when they grow up, they'll come and show you their clean sheets. They'll come and show you, they'll come and show you their pink sheet. I I think for me, it's one of these things that make me resonate so much with, that makes Kojo-Cue's music and his writing resonate so much with me, because even though, you know, he's a guy and he has a very peculiar guy experience that maybe divorced from mine as a woman, there's still there are a lot of elements there where I can see myself being represented, or I can find myself relating with, or I can think about my brothers and how they relate with it. And so I will always respect his vulnerability. The cra of all that I'm saying is actually that I love Kojo-Cue's vulnerability in his music. Vulnerability and honesty.
To misspell it. Yedi munye. Mommy. Auntie. Sister. Giving. Barely get.
I love the fact that when he says giving, it is while they're displaying the pepper, the mako being demarcated by, in Hausa we say kana kasawa, as a ochichim. And obviously, when you look at that picture, you think someone is selling pepper. But at the same time, when you add the context of him saying giving, it gives meaning to how mothers find a way to make sure that every mouth is fed in the household, even when it's kakrebi. Because mekono ya kitu webi, like oko ejom na wo obi a otom meko bebria. There's a difference between that person who sells the mako, right, and someone who just got some mako kakra and put it on the pan and is just trying to like sit in front of the market and find some. Oh Charlie, like it's actually not easy. When you go, I feel like this happens in pretty much every market, especially markets that don't have very good layouts and people are like lined up in the streets, maybe in the pavements where they shouldn't even be. Every single time car befaho, and I say maybe a Dagomba line or something like that. I remember in Kumasi when there used to be a railway in the market, they would the market women are lined up right in front of the railway, right? And he said a train nearby, and as it's like a road not care be bar. So if you're one of those people who don't have maybe a only store and you pack the things every single time cab packing your mano. If it's every 5 minutes, you're packing the things, so you're moving to give way to the car because you're not supposed to be there. And it's for me, it's so difficult. I love that this one short is telling such a deep story, right? And so the giving, like woo chichim, then you sell. But then at the same time too, these women, when they come back home with their monies and all that, onwe janika krebia or chichim, so that everybody in the house can get some. The whole chichimu and the management, the hand to mouth of it all, the way that it is captured in that one short, I love it. I guess that's why my uncle never came back. This is why our fathers never gave back. And those that stayed gave the bottle and lotto their pay. And that's what I was talking about how like a lot of people, their story is that their fathers wasted the money on their vices, whereas their mothers invested the little money they would get into them. And that's why the uncle never came back, because the uncle went through that. And when he went, so it could be two things. The uncle went and found greener pastures and he was like, I'm never coming back to this place. Or two, the uncle went to hustle because life has been hard for him and he didn't make it. And so because of the shame of not making it, he cannot come back home. And that's why the fathers never gave back. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. and they gave the bottle and their lotto their pay. It's extremely difficult, I think, to watch your father have capital and then waste it, and watch your mother go through so much, like put her body through so much to get that capital and invest it in you. You see why people buy their mother's houses? Houses that maybe the mother crashed, she doesn't even care, she doesn't need it, but what, like the way that the mom like she dragged herself through every single challenge to even bring some 50 Ghana home so that she can say yento a more any banchi more na yento salmon na yento makoni jene kakra na yenchi yanka bankunu na yendi. That alone, it goes a long way. It goes so far into the future. Forget our fees getting paid. I love the line, who are we except the sum of our experiences past? Because that's really what it is. And I feel like it gets to a certain point in your life where you don't necessarily stop. I mean, who you are is who you were. Honestly, who you are is what you went through, who you were. And I'm not saying you can't change. I'm just saying that everything that the amalgamation of everything that you went through, you saw, you thought, especially the way you thought, it shapes who you become.
Contrasting parts. The parts we are now, and the parts we are striving to be. Some places raise you, others break you. All of them shape you.
Absolutely.
I have to tell you the story of mine.
You know what it's giving? It's giving Noel, it's giving Pulitzer Prize. It's giving like, you guys should give him a Grammy. Give him give him all the awards, because he's coming to really give us. I'm pretty excited about it. I really I hope that, I mean, it's been 6 years since for my brothers, and so it's been enough years to get like enough really good stories for us. So I'm really excited for this. Let me know what you think. Let me know, like, do you like For My Brothers? Should I do like a reaction / breakdown video? I actually want to do it. And go and watch the Black Cherry video. I really, bro, I worked so hard on it. Thank you.